I'm Jordan, and this is my story. This is an ongoing situation, one that's dragged on for over 3 years now. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure it will ever really end. I've reached a point where I don't even know who else would want to hear this anymore. It's long, it's messy, it's deeply personal, and I'm not telling it because I want sympathy or advice. I don't even expect a response. Honestly, I don't feel like I deserve one, because a part of me still believes I brought this all on myself. And what came out of it was a heavy mix of anxious guilt and depressive shame. I'm 24 now, and this all started last year, for me at least. Let me take you back. What I got involved in was, without a doubt, the most petty and chaotic discourse I've ever witnessed. It all started with a few people being kicked out of a community project. And before you ask, yes, they were kicked out for all the right reasons. There was no injustice there. But instead of accepting it and moving on like adults, they went full scorched earth. They couldn't cope with the fact that they'd been rightly fired. So what did they do? They started smearing their own crew, their own workplace, all because they claimed it was becoming too woke. Yeah, that was the excuse they settled on. Not that they messed up, not that they were in the wrong, but that everything was falling apart because of wokeness. And for a while it worked. They fooled some people, they stirred chaos. But from the halfway point onward, people caught on. Everyone started calling them out. Piece by piece, the truth came out, and eventually, this toxic group claimed they were leaving for good. They didn't. Now, my role in all of this came a bit later. Around December, I decided I'd start documenting everything that was going on. This wasn't a random impulse. I knew what I was doing. I had a knack for this kind of research. Digging, organizing facts, following connections, and I was good at it. Good enough that my contributions ended up exposing a lot of their methods, the way they manipulated narratives, their grifts, the hidden alt accounts they used to keep stirring the pot under different names. I even managed to take down one of their longest-standing alternate accounts. After that, they really did leave for good. At least that one did. But that's when things got darker, much darker. One day an account popped up. It was impersonating an entirely different community, one with no relation to the drama I'd been tracking. And in the middle of getting canceled, this account faked an ICE deportation. Yeah. They literally tried to fabricate a scenario where someone was getting deported, using the image and reputation of another group. It didn't take long for me to realize it was the same hate group, the same manipulators, back again just wearing new masks. So I did what I always did. I started spreading the truth. I contacted people. I shared everything I had. The real community they were impersonating reached out to me directly. They wanted to confirm that they had no ties to the group behind the impersonation, and they took steps to publicly disassociate themselves. Even journalists got involved. I had the honor of speaking to several of them. For a moment, I thought I was making a difference. But it didn't last. Once they figured out who I was, they started stalking me, doxing me, exposing my personal information, using it as blackmail to keep me quiet, to silence me. They made it clear, if I dared to speak out again, they'd escalate. And they did. They mass reported all of my work, everything I'd written, everything I'd compiled, every trace of evidence I had, all taken down. And the platform I used, it crumbled under the pressure. It wasn't built to handle coordinated attacks like that. Now, even if I wanted to take this to court or involve the law, I have nothing. No proof, no documentation. It's all gone. And what's even worse is what I learned during this attack. Their methods, their connections, it all started to make sense. The man I'd originally believed was behind everything, maybe he still is, but it turns out the group I thought had fallen apart was still active, just operating under new leadership. Leadership that never cared about the community they were supposed to support. I learned from insiders that the new lead of that project was completely detached. No communication, no direction, just silence. But there's more. That same leader? They had ties to known doxers. They knew people who had no problem targeting anyone who dared to speak against them. And they used those connections. They used them against me. So now I live with this looming fear. Every day I wake up and wonder, what if the community I tried to protect starts doubting me? What if they get tricked? What if they let their guard down? Sure, they've replaced their social media accounts, rebranded, started over, but the impersonators, they're still out there, still watching, still waiting for a chance to strike again. How many public statements does it take to keep them at bay? How long before another fake crisis is manufactured? Another fake deportation? Another takedown? How long have they been tracking me? Even though I keep my private life and my online presence strictly separated, I still wonder, what do they actually know? They've proven they don't need facts. They recycle the same lies over and over again. 6 different allegations they've thrown at countless people before me. And even though those lies fall apart under a little scrutiny, it still spreads. People still believe it. And what happens when they figure out that targeting me doesn't work anymore? What happens when they go after my friends, my family? There's a moment every few days where I wonder if I ever should have gotten involved in any of this. Back in September, I was just trying to help. I genuinely believed in that community project. I thought we were cleaning house, getting rid of the toxic elements so we could move forward. But what happened instead? They threw everything away, everything we worked for. They turned against us, against me, as if helping was the real crime, as if exposing grifters and extremists was somehow a betrayal. They didn't just let the bad apples go, they became them. And now I'm stuck living with the aftermath. Living with the fear. How do I even explain this to my relatives? How do I tell them that for the next few weeks, I'll be paranoid every time I go outside, worried that some lunatic from the internet is actually following me? How do I explain that people are out there right now trying to destroy my life over something they did? And the truth is, I don't know. I don't know how to make peace with this. I don't know how to move on. Because no matter what I do, it's never enough. They're still out there, doing what they do best, and no amount of truth, no amount of fighting back seems to stop them, not even slow them down. It's like I was never even here, like I never mattered in the first place. What would you have done in my place? Would you have stayed silent or spoken up knowing the risk? Let me know in the comments. I read everything, and if this story resonated with you, please leave a like and share it with someone who might need to hear it. Your support makes a difference, even when it feels like the world is falling apart.